What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to NoLifeTilMetal. Going to be doing a NoLifeTilMetal graphics update. I'm going to be doing all stuff from the same company. So this is from BoonsOverstock.com, which is the umbrella store or website for Retroactive Records, Bombworks Records, Brutal Planet Records, and Born Twice Records. So I've got a lot to show here, and I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start with the CDs because I'm real excited about these first 4 CDs that are in this pile. So let me show you these first, and then we'll get into some vinyl, because I do have quite a bit of vinyl too. So first off, the gold disc edition of Nevermore's Dreaming Neon Black, one of my personal all-time favorite records. So I was just stoked to get to work on this, do the graphics, the layout for this thing. Of course, it's actually the second cover. There's actually been 2 different covers for this one. So this was the back cover on the original, and then this was the front cover. But then years later, they switched it, so we went with the switched one, which I actually think is a better cover. It makes more sense with the storyline of this album. So just a great album. Absolutely love it. It sounds fantastic. This album, of any of these, deserved the remaster treatment, and it sounds really, really good. I mean, really good. But yeah, booklets on all these have like 16-page booklets. Have all the original graphics and more, so you're going to see, you know, all the lyrics are in there. They're readable. They're not, you know, itty-bitty 5-point type, so you don't need to break out your glasses to read these things. There's photos of the bands in all of them, and yeah, just came out fantastic. They are gold discs, so you can see the gold discs. Not gold color discs, they're actually gold discs. And the reason for that is aluminum has the ability to rot or to lose information over time, whereas gold does not. So gold discs are archival, they don't ever rot, and they're a little more expensive, but there's a reason, because they're better. Now, some people would say they sound better. I don't know about that, because I think the sound is all dependent on how it was mastered. But still a very cool set. I'll show you the back tray as well. Getting a bit of glare, sorry. And all these Nevermores come with collector's cards, which I've already put into a little case, so I'll just show you all 3 of them at one time. But as you can see, they all have gold foil stamps, pictures of the band, and in the back they have, you know, information about, oops, upside down, each of the albums and pictures of the album covers. So they came out stellar. Really happy with these Nevermore reissues. Then there's this Godless Endeavor, another fantastic album. Just like the other one, it's got all the original stuff. It's got little gold hype stickers on it even. We've got the gold disc that you can see here. And let me show you the behind the tray. And then, of course, like the other one, it's a big old fat booklets inside. This has got a 16-page booklet. Again, it's got all the lyrics, and you can definitely read them. nice readable type for us old people that don't want to get glasses or magnifying glasses to read, you know, little itty-bitty 5-point type. Picture of the bands. Again, this one's got a few pictures of the band in there. And for anybody who's asking, yes, these were all officially licensed. All this stuff had to be approved by Century Media and the band's management. Not that there's a band anymore, this band's not together anymore, but they still had management, and their management has to approve it. So everything from the artwork to the music to even the licensing had to all be approved by them. So yes, these are 100% officially licensed. Again, this was remastered, and it sounds fantastic. I don't hear a huge difference in this one, because the original was so great to begin with. So if I just hear a little bit more separation in instruments when I compared the two, and a little more bottom end. So, but I mean, it was such a great album and such a great mix to begin with. It didn't need a whole lot. So, and then finally, this is Enemies of Reality. This is the Andy Sneap mix version of the album. Of course, Andy Sneap, known for touring with Judas Priest for the last few years. And there's the gold disc, and then here's behind the disc, and then again it's got a 16-page booklet. Just really thick booklet, and again it's got all the graphics from the original and more so. so you're not missing anything and you're gaining some stuff. And again, it's got pictures of the band throughout. There's a picture of the whole band, and then there's smaller pictures of the individual members. There's Jim Shepard there on the bottom. So yeah, it came out fantastic. And again, with any of the gold discs that these labels put out, so you get the gold border on this side. If you don't like the gold border in your CD, you simply do this. So you have the option of having the gold in there or the full cover. Either way, you can do it. So, and let's see. So that's it for Nevermore. It's freaking awesome. I'm stupid excited about those. I just got them in the mail yesterday. So you're going, now how'd you hear them? Well, I had advanced CD pressings on, but just the CDs, not the whole packaging. So I previewed all the music earlier, and yeah, they sounded fantastic. Same as this one. And this one really, I thought, needed a remaster, and it's just got so much more grit now, more bottom end. So, but this is another Century Media release from the past. But this is Extol, Synergy, and again, much like the Nevermore releases, it's on the gold disc. Now the case broke on this one, so I need to put a new case on it. But behind the tray, again, it's got a big old fat booklet like the others. Picture of the band. If you're not familiar with Extol, they started off as kind of a black death metal band. They're from Norway. The early albums were kind of Black Death sounding. This album is just 100% pure thrash metal, neo thrash. Really, this is. I mean, hard for me to choose between this one and Burial, which Burial was their first album, but this ranks among my favorites. And then their last album that they put out, what was that? About 2017, I think. Their last album came out, and that album was just superb. Regardless, this one needed some remastering. It sounds great. Remastered by Rob Caldwell. And the artwork, I should have mentioned also, let me show you the card. All these come with collector's cards, so I always immediately take my cards out and put them in these sleeves to preserve them. Extol, there it is. The Extol card does have a gold foil stamp, and so there's your gold foil stamp. And then on the back, there's always, you know, the picture of the album and some information about the album and who's playing on the album. And it's also noteworthy to mention that Hugh Sim, I believe that's how you say his last name, is the artist who did the cover work for this particular Extol album, and he is most known for doing almost all, if not all, I can't remember if he did all of them, but almost all the Rush albums. He's also done work with Fates Warning and Iron Maiden, among others. But yeah, he is the Rush artist, so he's the one who designed this front cover art. All right, so let's get into some vinyl, and I do have more CDs, but some of these CDs have vinyl with them, so I'm going to get into the vinyl. So this is an oldie but a goodie, and this is Saint, Warriors of the Sun, classic heavy metal. Now this is unusual because it's got two covers. This album, when it was originally released, I believe came out on this album, and then they got picked up by a small label and they got a new cover, this one, and the label wanted both album covers on here. So you've got both covers, and as you see, there's no barcodes, there's no song listings, there's nothing on here. If you buy this from Amazon, then there's going to be a barcode, but it's going to be a sticker on the outside, which you pull off with the shrink wrap, which I have yet to do on this one. But that's what the label wanted, and it came out superb. They both look spectacular. I think this cover looks better than the original. You can see the guys a little more. It's not so muddy like it was on the original. So where is all the information that would have been on the back cover? What's on the insert, which is right here. So you got all the song listings, all the liner notes, all the legal mumbo jumbo and record labels. So yeah, the label didn't even want their logo on there anymore. They just wanted it on here. So and then of course it's got the lyrics. This is remastered. It sounds so much better than the original. The original was, I mean, this is what, 1984, so the original was a little bit muddy. There is also, this was actually originally a 6-song EP. The label added 3 live tracks from that time period that are all, the sound quality is good on them. It's not crap. So it's a full length now with the live tracks. And it's on a unusually colored vinyl. A little bit of dust on there. It's kind of a smoky gray and black. And with all retroactive releases, you got the retroactive flame on the B side and a custom label on the A side. So I had no clue what the color was going to be on these because they actually did what's called an eco vinyl. So it's made up of leftover colors, and it's all about the environment and not wasting and all that kind of stuff. So you don't know what you're going to get. So we usually call it a variety of colors, or you just never know what you're going to get. So, but so far all the ones I've seen have been that smoky gray color. So actually it's pretty cool, because I've seen some of these eco vinyls come out as like pinks and ugly browns, but that's not too bad of a color, especially for a heavy metal record. So there you go, Saint Warriors of the Sun, 1984. This is the original recording, the original mix, just remastered. There is also a re-recorded version, and I believe that the current band is actually working on some new music, or maybe some re-recordings of some of these old songs too, but I'm not 100% sure. So, alright, next up, I bought this album back in, I'm going to say 85 or so, and love this album, love this band, especially their first 5 albums. But this is the original pressing of Bride, Show No Mercy. This is the repressing of Bride, Show No Mercy. Now there are some very, very slight changes to the cover. As you can see, it's a little brighter, so that it pops a little more. The photo is just a little bit bigger than the original, as well as the red border, which almost is cut off on here. And the photo on the back is definitely better, as you can see. Even in the video with the glare, you can see that the new one, you can see the photo much better of the band. So, but anyhow, this came out spectacular. It sounds really, really good. It too has bonus tracks on the vinyl, which is unusual. You don't usually get that on vinyl, but you get 3 tracks that were written and recorded around the time of this album that didn't make the album. So it's kind of cool, a little addition if you have the original, so it's just a reason to buy the new one. Besides the fact that it sounds good, and it's got some nice little extras in there. Nice little hype sticker. And then it's got, as all the retroactive albums do, it's got the black polyline sleeve. They always go the extra mile and spring for the most expensive ones, which is black and polylined. So it's on a purple vinyl, which sometimes looks more like a plum or a wine color in certain lights, but it was supposed to be deep purple. But it's custom centering on that side, and as with all of them, there's the retroactive flame on the B side. So really nice color, sounds great. It's a heavyweight. I don't know that it's 180 grams. It feels more like 140 or 160 gram. But yeah, it's a pretty heavyweight vinyl. And as with the others, there is the insert with photos, kind of a collage of photos, all the lyrics. And then there is an interview with Dale Thompson. This is part 1 of the interview, Dale Thompson being the vocalist, who is pictured here. And the first 3 albums have the 3 parts of the interview. So if you have all 3 albums, you have all 3 of the interview parts by him. And then there's also liner notes by Troy Thompson, his brother, who plays guitar on the album on here. So kind of nice. It matches the album really well. And it also comes with a poster. It's a 12 by 18 poster of the band. And yeah, spectacular, sounds good, looks good, really happy with it. So that was also released on CD as a gold disc, but I've shown that in the past videos, so I'm going to just move on to the next one, which is Bride, Live to Die. Now this is the original pressing. This is the repressing. Not a whole lot of difference. I did recreate the album cover from scratch, so if you look closely at the details in the marble in the background, it's completely different, because I just went ahead and used new stuff on there that was clean and wasn't scanned off of something old. So it's a little, that's the only real big difference. But as you can see, they're almost identical. The again, it comes with a hype sticker. The back cover is a little different. I made it a little bigger, a little more readable. There's extra tracks on here that weren't on here. Again, it's got the All Hallows Eve demo, which is a song that was written for this album but didn't make this album. It ended up making the next album. It's got and 2 live tracks from '89 on here as bonus tracks, and both are recorded well, so that they sound good. They're not like, oh my gosh, can't wait to turn that off kind of stuff. Sometimes live bonus tracks are garbage, but these are pretty good. Now this album is a little different sound-wise for the band. This was They moved. This one was a straightforward heavy metal album. This last one I showed you. This one's got more of a speed metal feel, a little heavier. To me, it's one of their best albums, and it's hard for me to say between it and Snakes in the Playground, but it's one of my favorite Bride albums, and to this day, it has been since it came out. But again, it's got an insert, so it's got part 2 of the interview with Dale. It's got more liner notes by Troy. It also has some liner notes from guitarist, from bassist Frank Partapio. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but the liner notes are actually about guitarist Steve Osborne, who passed away in November of 2011. So, kind of nice. And again, like the other, it comes with a poster. Let me show you the vinyl first before I get into the poster, because this is kind of a nice vinyl. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but it's a tan clear vinyl to match the cover. It might look all clear on the video, but it actually is a tan vinyl. Let's see if I put it on a. It might show better on the black. So it's a tan color with red splatter. Came out really nice. Again, it's got the flame on one side, and then the custom label on this side, and the instead of side A and side B, it's got side first and last, which is kind of fun. And again, there is a poster. Let me show you the poster. It's a picture of the band, of course, including the guitar player who passed away. This was not my personal first choice for the poster. I had created more than one design, but this is the one the label wanted, and it's cool. I mean, it's got pictures of the band. That's what he wanted. He wanted kind of a classic poster with pictures of the band on it, and that's what we got. So there you go. Bride, this is what, 1987, 88, somewhere in that time. Okay, moving on, because I am, 17 minutes in, and I got a lot to go. I need to hurry up. All right, next up, this is the new Deliverance, Camelot Redux. If you read the spine, it says CAMELOT-IN-SMITHEREENS Redux. If you look here, it says Camelot 2021, which is when the album was completed. But the name of the album is CAMELOT-IN-SMITHEREENS Redux. It went on sale on 2021. Unfortunately, due to manufacturing issues, it's getting sent out to people in 2022. But this is a redo of this album, which came out back in 1995. Now, when this album came out, I thought it was a good album. A lot of people didn't like it, but it was just different. It was heavy, kind of David Bowie-esque in the vocal style, but it had these heavy grooves. It was not that different from what Deliverance had been doing for the last few albums, but the band didn't like it, especially Jimmy Brown, who wrote the music. He had this whole storyline. It was kind of supposed to be this kind of Operation Mindcrime style concept album, and the label they cut their budget. They wouldn't allow them to do all the things they wanted. They had wanted to add voiceovers and all this different stuff to the album. They just didn't happen. Now it's happened. So the whole album's been re-recorded. It sounds fantastic. It looks fantastic. It's got guest guitar players on here from I should say guest guitar players. It's got different Deliverance lead guitar players from over the years. So George Ochoa, Glenn Rogers, Larry Farkas. So there's all these different awesome shredders on here playing guitar solos, as well as Jimmy Brown, of course. And this one's coming out on CD, DVD, cassette, and everything else. So if you're interested in the new Deliverance, it's boonsoverstock.com. Unfortunately, the CDs, DVD, and cassette have not shipped yet because we're still waiting for them from the factory. It's got to be the first time in the history that I've been working with these guys that the vinyl came in before everything else. So anyhow, we got it. So we got the insert with lyrics. And again, musically, it doesn't sound like Queensryche, so don't think it sounds like Operation Mindcrime. It's not. But it's got that kind of feel to it, that kind of epic storyline feel with all the voiceovers and the great music and the melodic singing. And so, yeah, it's pretty fantastic stuff. I liked the old album. I love the new album. So here's the vinyl. It is black vinyl. We went black for the best quality sound. It's got a custom center label as always. And then on the back, of course, the retroactive flame. Black polyline sleeve as always, and those who were a part of the campaign to raise funds for the band, they're also going to get this poster with their name on it. They'll all be numbered. This is actually one that got misfolded slightly, so I kept it to put in my record. But yeah, it's got everybody's names who participated in the crowdfunding on the bottom, and it's a really cool poster. So yeah, there's no way to get this if you didn't do the crowdfunding, but that's what this is. And so some of the people who did the crowdfunding will be getting those. And then as well, they did the vinyl for the first time ever on vinyl, the original 1995 version. And they both came out at the same time. So you can get either one. Now this one is, well, that one is there's lots of copies pressed. This one here is super limited. I'm thinking, I guess, as I recall, maybe 200 copies. I can't remember if it's 100 or 200 copies, so there's not a whole lot of these. So if you're interested in getting the original mix, original recordings of this album, then yeah, don't wait too long because they won't be around forever. But anyhow, just like all the other retroactive ones, there is an insert, full color. There is, liner notes, lyrics. There is no photos of the band in this one. This is unusual for something I do. I always like to include photos, but there really wasn't any from that time period, and the band wasn't really interested in having me add any, so I didn't have any to add. So again, black polyline sleeve, custom center label, and the retroactive flame on the B side. Alright, next up, this is going to be a long video, but there's a lot of stuff I got to show. Just came in, Fierce Heart. You may remember this band from the 80s. They recorded an album back in the 80s and kind of split apart, and guitarist Rex Carroll went on to form a band called White Cross, and did many albums with them. Then later on did King James with some of the guys from Stryper. But yeah, this was a new album that just came out last year, and it just got released on vinyl. This is melodic, hard rock, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, with some shredding guitar solos on it. But yeah, this big hooks. This is the kind of stuff that if this would have come out in 1988, 87, 89 even, it would have been on all the radio stations because it's just that good. This recording is superb. Most people probably know Rex Carroll and White Heart from being a Christian group. Now Fierce Heart is not. Fierce Heart is just like I said, a melodic hard rock band. They're not a Christian band whatsoever. So the lyrics aren't like White Cross, give your life to Jesus. No, it's not that kind of stuff. That's actually Barren Cross. But it's the artwork's spectacular. I wish I could say I did the cover. It was done before I got involved, but I did do the layout. As with all of them, you got an insert with photos of the band. So I mean, if you're into stuff like Dokken, this is right up your alley. I mean, it's just that good. And again, it's black vinyl, black polyline sleeve. Now this is on a different label. This is Brutal Planet Records, which is also under the Boone's umbrella. But because of that, it's not a retroactive, so it doesn't have the retroactive flame on the B side. So whereas retroactive is usually Christian rock and metal, Brutal Planet is not Christian metal. It's mainstream stuff. So stuff like Nevermore and Fierce Heart and other things that they're doing are on that label. So different label, same owner, under the same umbrella of stores. So Fierce Heart, again, if you're a fan of White Cross, definitely check them out. If you're a fan of stuff like Dokken, especially the 80s style Dokken, it's just great melodic hard rock heavy metal, and I mean, I was blown away by how good it was. Now, if you have the CD and you're into collecting vinyl, trust me when I tell you the sound quality on the vinyl is better than the CD. Now, I don't say that if I don't believe it, because I know there's some CDs that sound better than vinyl to me. But this particular album, the mastering is just so much better than the original CD that came out probably a year before the vinyl now. So, all right, keep going because I'm running out of time. And so these are all from the same artist. Let me show them quickly. So we got Saint. One's never been on vinyl before. This is Desperate Night. This was a transition period for the band. It just came out not that long ago. I mean, maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, 2012. And this is a 2022 repressing on vinyl. Like I said, first time on vinyl. Now this was like I said, the band was kind of morphing because they had Josh Kramer, who was a well-known vocalist for the band. Everybody knows him kind of having that Rob Halford style singing. Okay, well, he wasn't around as much. He had moved. So on this album, he sings most of the songs, but they also have one song on here with a new vocalist who they were kind of introducing with that new song. And he's really good. He's different. So they didn't look for a clone of Josh, but so you've got Brian Miller, and so you got two vocalists on here basically, Josh Kramer and Brian Miller. Your insert, and it's just great, straight up, heavy metal in the vein of Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Armored Saint, that kind of stuff. It is heavy black vinyl. This one feels like it's 180 gram, but custom center label, retroactive flame on the back. It also came out on CD, and I won't go deep into it, but all these CDs have at least 12-page booklets with photos of the band, which is nice because the originals on these ones that I'm showing now only came out on digis and did not have booklets originally. So it's nice that these nice booklets with all kinds of lyrics and liner notes and all the stuff that you missed out on in the original releases. Again, here's the tray and the CD itself, and these came with collector's cards as well, which I'll show you real quick. Alright, so there is the Saint cards that go with the 3 Saint. Now these, unlike the others that had gold, these are silver foil stamps. And then here's the backs. So those came out spectacular. And actually on this particular card here, I'll take it out so you can see it better. I got to do the... it's actually a photo that I had taken when I had seen him play a few years ago. Look at that beast of a bass right there. So yeah, I'm really proud of these. I love the way they came out. And if you're into straightforward heavy metal, Saint is worth checking out. All right, next up is their first full album with their new singer, Brian. And again, just straightforward heavy metal. If you didn't know any better, you would swear they were just a new wave of traditional heavy metal band. But I mean, these guys have been around since I think even the late 70s. But I mean, their first album came out in '84, so they've been around a long time, and they put out a lot of albums. And they just continue to chug ahead, playing the music that they love, which is just straightforward heavy metal. A little bit speedy at times. Sometimes it's more slow and doomy, but again, it's just a collection of heavy metal. I'll show you these quickly. I know I'm running out of time, and I don't want to bore everybody, but back cover, insert with a photo of the band, lyrics, no posters in this one, just an insert and the black polyline sleeve, custom center label, and retroactive flame on the back. And then here is the CD. Now this one's got a really nice booklet in it because we had lots of professional photos to put in here. So there's a lot of unseen pictures of the band that were never released before. We'll show you every page, but yeah, there's a center spread. So yeah, there's a lot of pictures that had never been used or seen before that are in this booklet, which is really cool. Because like I said, the original came in a digi and had no pictures of the band, and I always like to see what the band looks like, and I like the booklets, so I've always been a fan of having it and listening to the music and reading through it. This next one did not get released on vinyl because it got a vinyl release several years ago on Rox Records, but this is HELLBLADE. Many people think this is one of the band's best. This is Josh Kramer singing on it. Pretty heavy album, kind of in the Painkiller vibe of Judas Priest. Again, it's got a big old booklet in there. It's got a card that I showed you earlier. It's got photos of the band in there. It's got, I think, a 16 or 12-page booklet. So you can see some photos of the band and lyrics. And again, it's all readable, which is one of the things that I always strive for when I'm doing design, is making sure that I mean, what's the point of having them in there if you can't read them, right? I mean, I've got some CDs and some records where the lyrics are so, even with a magnifying glass, you can't read them because they're just so bad. But yeah, this one came out stellar too. It sounds fantastic. Now this one needed remastering, and the remaster on this sounds spectacular. There's just so much more range and width than the original had. All right, 2 more and then I'm done. These are a little bit outside my normal style that I listen to, but it was really cool to work on these, and they look spectacular. But this is Sleeping Giant, which is a hardcore I don't know. I guess they could be called metalcore, but they fall more on the hardcore side of things. So I think Bombworks Records, which is what this one is on, Bombworks is the extreme metal label for, you know, Boone's Overstock. It's calling them extreme metal, but to me they kind of sound like a hardcore band. People are pretty familiar with these guys. They were on Century Media. The booklets. This particular booklet is 2-color. It's purposely black with just red highlights throughout, and I don't know how well it's going to show, but as you can see, there's really no glare because it's on this really awesome uncoated paper with a nice texture to it, and we did that on purpose because we just wanted that kind of dull look and that black and white look, and yeah, it looks great. And this is coming out on vinyl too. The vinyl I haven't received yet, but it will also be on that kind of dull paper. So you got photos, cards. Here's the cards. Again, I put them in this little thing, so there's the 2 cards. You can see the silver foil stamped logo, and then the back. Here's the there's the back of the cards with the photo of the cover, and then the notes on the album and the who's playing on the album. But here's the CD itself. Under the CD, and then the back tray. So, like I said, black and red, red highlights, but that's the whole kind of look of the band, was always this black and white look. So I'm really pleased with how these came out, and I love that textured paper. It's just offers you something different than the normal, you know, glossy stuff. And then this is another album from them, Kingdom Days and Evil Age, and the original cover was black on black, so I redesigned the cover. It's similar, but it's definitely redesigned. It's more. First of all, the original cover didn't have the name of the band or the album on it, which I added in small, clean text on top and bottom, just for marketing purposes. It's really hard to sell an album without a band's name on it. So we added that on there, and we had to. Again, we worked with the label, we worked with the management, so we had to get permission for all this stuff, and they went with it. So yes, it's a slightly different cover than the original. If you know this band at all. Back cover is a little different, but I kept the look and the feel, and I used those same, you know, I don't know what you call those things, the lines with the songs on there. It does have a bonus track on here. There's been several different versions of this release with different bonus tracks on there, but I can't remember. I don't remember which. I think it's Destroying Every Idol, or maybe it's Enthroned. I don't remember. One of those tracks is a bonus track. I'm just not all that well versed in this band because it's just a bit outside of what I normally listen to. You know, I like hardcore, and I'm not a big fan of metalcore at all. But I mean, there's some I do like, but I just didn't know anything about this band, so I started working on it. But listening to it while working on it, I kind of like them now. So again, on that uncoated stock, so it's got that nice kind of feel. That's why you don't see any glare. You know, there's no coatings on it. All the lyrics are very readable. Nice graphics throughout. Pictures of the band. Here's your disc face behind the tray. I made it match the other one purposely. So, yep. Sleeping Giant reissue coming out on vinyl. Out now on CD on Bombworks Records at Boone's Overstock. So, there you go. That is a whole lot of stuff. All from the same label. I have more to show, but I just wanted to get just their stuff, and that's not even all. They've got so much stuff coming out. It was a banner year for that label, so I really appreciate them working with me, and I really appreciate you guys watching all this stuff. And leave a comment below and support this. These small labels doing this great stuff that keeping us metalheads in stock with vinyl and CDs. So that's it. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless and stay strong.